All right. It's that time. It's time for Beyond Sight and Sound. Let's do this.
Are you looking for a high-quality beach and sand scoop? Are you trying to take your hunting to the extreme? How about an American-based company that stands behind their product and everything they sell? Then check out our friends over at XTREME Scoops. John has been making scoops for some time now and makes a quality beach and sand scoop to take your hunting to the next level. XTREME Scoops recently released their new sand shredder that works great in the water and on the beach. And if you're a new Equinox user, you may want to check out his Surfmaster X3 that can trap those small targets you new Equinox users are finding out there. XTREME Scoops' company approach is let's do it right. So do it right, buy it once, and go to the extreme. XTREMEScoops.com. That's XTREME scoops.com. Caution. Please do not operate motor vehicles or power equipment while under the influence of this show. Listening to this show could cause side effects such as bouts of laughter, violent binges of cabin fever, and even dreams of silver and gold. Please be advised. Now that the fine print is out of the way, on with the show. All right, the fine print's out of the way, and it's time to roll with the show. We're back and we're live once again. You are listening to Beyond Sight and Sound, Metal Detecting and Treasure Hunting Radio. For all the really cool digging people out there, and when I look into the chat, I see that looks like Bill is definitely the talk of the chat tonight, and first in, actually. I tried to throw him off. I figured he was using that in-studio feed, so I thought I'd duck out of the room at the last minute and go live a minute late, but nah. Can't trick him. Can't fool him. That's alright, though. That's the way it goes. I see the Paul's in as well. The other Bills are in. Well, we've got all the Bills in. Both the Bills, whatever. Paul's in. Steve's in. Welcome aboard, everybody. Probably a short show tonight. We've got our, well, I guess you could kind of say our infield reporter, literally in the field, calling in to give us an update on the 2019 bone dig, which Fred should be along here in a few minutes. So we do have that going on. Until then, though, let's see. Yeah. Until then, links in the description. Our friends at Shooters and Prospectors, Chuck Smalley, multi-line dealer, definitely enjoying himself over in Italy right now, though. So, yeah, give him a call if you're looking for equipment. But May not want to do that until the beginning of the month or so. He is enjoying his vacation, and it looks like he is having an absolute blast. Just phenomenal pictures. Yeah, he could be out standing in the field. Also, we've got the links for our friends at Extreme Scoops, our friends at DetectEes.com. Definitely mention Ken, Mark, Darth, Buddy, and the gang. Definitely. Looks like Mike is in as well. Welcome aboard. And then we also have our links for XP Team USA Facebook group, podcast, website, blog article. And somewhere in there, I don't know if I'm not sure where I've got that in the list of links. It could be up below Detectees, or it could be down there in the very bottom to where you can just scroll right down and find it. But we do have the link in there tonight that will take you directly to the post on the Beyond Sight and Sound page for the PulseDive giveaway that we're doing. Been a number of people that have entered already, and a few of them are not following the rules. So, if you're looking to get yourself entered, make sure, read the rules carefully, and hopefully we can get you entered. That will run until Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern Time, May 3rd, and a winner will be announced on the May 5th broadcast. As far as... Hi, other Mike. So, yeah, we've got, we're filling up with Bills and Mikes. Nice. So, we've got the PulseDive giveaway going on. The Nocta Macro PulseDive, the 2-in-1 pinpointer set. We've got that going on over there. I'm trying to keep as close of track of it as I can. I've seen some people, though, that have shared the post and not commented or anything else. I'm not even acknowledging those. Sorry, it doesn't get you entered. You didn't read the rules. I've seen other people that have been having problems with how they share they'll comment and everything else, but they have a little trouble with sharing the post. And most of them we've been able to get straightened out. I think there's only 2 people right now maybe that may have followed all of the rules except for how to share the post. And I've sent them a message. They have not acknowledged the message yet or anything, so who knows? Maybe they get entered, maybe they don't. This much I can say. For those that have entered, if you've done the comment and sharing part correctly, you will probably notice that I've liked or commented on either the share or your comment at some point in time. When I select a winner, then I will go and confirm whether or not they have liked the pages. So make sure that you like the pages. I hate to be a stickler on the rules, but we've got to stick to the rules on this one. So if I find that someone has not fulfilled the contest rules, then they're disqualified and I'll go to the next name on the list. So we'll see what happens. But so far, everybody seems to be doing well with it. It is a very, very nice pinpointer. And, yeah, I see actually Mike's in there. He got himself entered. He did it properly. I didn't even... there's a great case in point example of following the rules. He did everything flawlessly. So Mike is definitely entered. And then, as I said in the post, make sure that you have the, make sure that you do have all of the rules fulfilled, and make sure that you do allow time for that product to be shipped when the winner is announced. The winner will be announced on the May 5th broadcast, tagged in the post after that, and then I'll send them a private message to obtain their shipping information. But we've got Fred on with us. How is it going, Fred? How's B.O.N.E, buddy?
It's great. Everybody's having a great time. The weather's good. We've been hunting a field and woods area a little north of Keene, where we are, and people have been finding a lot of interesting stuff.
Yeah, I saw this morning, I believe it was, KG got an 1803 Largie.
Yeah, he had a whole collection of stuff. That guy's an excellent detector, I'll tell you, because, I mean, I hunted right alongside him, and my finds pouch hardly had anything in it, and he had this quite a selection of stuff. You know, he found the 37 Washington quarter amongst everything, and all sorts of looked like a scabbard tip for like a bayonet or something, and he had a tremendous collection of stuff. And you know, those guys, they're like professionals, you know. And
right.
Turns out I'm at the Garrett dinner tonight, and I may have an interview with those guys to come on. I told them I was calling you, and they said, yeah, well, come on, we'll talk to them, you know. KG and Ringy are here, and
nice.
Aquachigger's here, Steve Moore, all the Garrett boys.
You got the whole game.
I'm outside the Italian-American club here in Keene. It's where they're having the little soiree. So we just ate, and so there's like a Civil War reenactor giving a speech inside about, you know, all the Civil War stuff.
Nice.
So it's pretty. Tomorrow we're going a little away from here, just down the road, like 5 miles to Swansea. You know Swansea, right?
Right.
That's why it's called Swansea.
Exactly.
That's Brandon's town, Swansea. So we're going to be doing a hunt on a big field there for the next 2 days. So that should be turning up some good stuff. I found mostly buttons and bullets, but I found no really good coins. I did see people finding large cents, and one woman that was a photographer, she found a silver dollar today. I don't know what year that was, but
wow.
You know, stuff's turning up. Yeah, there's a wide variety of stuff, you know, as you would expect up here in New England. But the thing is, it's very well run, and I'm meeting a lot of different people here. I was just talking to Maya Schoenfeld, is that her name? Sofeld?
Yeah, Miss Detectorist.
Miss Detectorist.
Yeah,
she was. I just had dinner with her at the table, and this guy Nathan Long is here from Pennsylvania. He's a big bottle digger. I think he has his bottles on American Digger magazine and stuff. So there's a lot of people that I've seen through Facebook, and I'm making contacts with people. It's really interesting. When I got done hunting today at about 5 o'clock, this young couple pulled in, and they were asking me all questions about metal detecting, and the woman had some stuff that she found in her yard, like old 1800 locks and things.
Nice.
So I was explaining. So I showed them I had my AT Pro with me, which I wasn't really using. So I let them borrow it. You know, I'm going to go up there Saturday. They have like 3 cellar holes on their property, and
wow.
I'm going to hunt with them.
There you go.
Yeah, I gave them a little lesson on using the AT Pro, and I told them to look on Facebook, not Facebook, YouTube. They have all those instructional videos from Garrett.
Right, yeah.
You know, Steve Moore did a whole series of them. Oh, yeah. I mean, when I got my AT Pro, I went through all of those videos, and so, you know, they were, like, real appreciative. They're a young couple, you know, like in their 20s. So they say, "Oh, we got all these cellar holes behind our house." And my eyes are lighting up. I'm like, "No, that sounds interesting." So
right.
I may be up there Saturday hunting with them. So that's a little bit off the schedule of this thing, but Saturday night they have like a banquet with a as part of this whole show. But it's very well organized, and it's a week-long thing. Sunday they have a seated hunt, which I won't be here for. I'm leaving Sunday. But all in all, I'm having a great time. Nothing like a couple, stringing a few days together of just metal detecting,
Right, yeah, and you have been there since the beginning.
Well, I can't say I've been from the beginning because this is the 26th, and I only started coming here on the 23rd.
Of this hunt.
This is my 4th year in a row, but I'm an advocate for this event just because of it, the nature of it, the natural digging and going to different properties, and it's sort of unique. It's sort of
I mean,
sort of
seated,
like DIV
seated hunts are good, but the allure of the natural find seems to be much more enticing.
Yeah, well, I've tried a couple seated hunts, and I just felt out of my element. The rushing and the panic of trying to move so fast. And it's a specialty, and I appreciate people that are good at it and enjoy it.
Yeah,
there's a lot of camaraderie. On a seated hunt, you're afterwards you're all hanging out with everybody and all. But my club has a seated hunt coming up next month, and I'm going to help with it, and I'll probably do the kids hunt, but I'm not going to really, I don't know, I just don't find it satisfying to go out there and, the whistle blows and you got your metal detectors raised, and then you're just running around like a chicken with your head chopped off,
right,
trying to see how many coins you could get or whatever. But, hey, I understand why people do it. But I just, when I have a bag full of coins from there, I don't have the same appreciation as if I have a bag full of coins that I found on my own, naturally.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's cool because you can get handfuls of coins at the seated hunts, but the coins that you find in the natural environment like that, such as B.O.N.E, they have much more meaning, I think, anyway.
I feel they do, and you can find a colonial shoe buckle at a seated hunt that they put in the ground, but it doesn't have the history behind it of knowing that you found one out in the woods that fell off someone's foot like 200 years ago,
Right.
So,
the context is gone.
Yeah. And, people like seated hunts too because they have raffles and people win metal detectors there and everything, and I can appreciate all that. We have a raffle going in this thing every day. In the last 2 days, I won. But the first day I won a Morgan silver dollar, and today I won a Garrett Pro Pointer, so.
Well, it sounds like it's not all bad. Yeah, I'm not seeing a downside.
No. That's great for me. I mean, you buy an arm's length of tickets for $10, and they have a raffle right before the hunt. And I've been lucky enough to be the first one picked both days. So see if that luck continues. But all in all, it's great. So you want me to go inside and see if I can pull some of those Garrett guys to talk to you?
Hey, if you'd like to, feel more than happy to.
Yeah,
I suppose, have you seen Doug from Awesome Relics New England there any?
I don't know. I'm not sure what he looks like.
Well, maybe you'll meet him sometime this week, too. He's a trip as well. But, yeah, I mean, if any of them are up to telling us about B.O.N.E, put them on.
Yeah, well, the Civil War enactor is still giving his speech in there, so I don't want to interrupt him right now. But,
right.
How's everything going on your side?
Oh, all right. I guess we're just trying to get out from under this unseasonable chill. Actually,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you have cold weather there?
It's chilly. It's not cold. It's not like winter, but it's still, with the rain and the wind, it's kind of on the cool side. And unfortunately, we're not into the nicer part of the year yet, where people should be getting into the water. But I may have to find myself getting into the water this weekend.
Oh boy, yeah, that's something to look forward to. You better have a good wetsuit, I guess.
Well,
So.
yeah. Oh, I see. They're saying in the chat that Doug was only there Tuesday, I guess.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
so
I'm not
he's
sure. I'm not
been
sure
there and gone.
What he looks. Yeah, I haven't met him. Maybe I saw him yesterday at the event, because I don't know everybody. I've been trying to, I talked to those guys today from Garrett, like Ringy and King George, because I always watch their videos.
Oh,
they're stand-up guys. Those guys, they're really nice guys.
Yes, they are. And very good ambassadors to the hobby.
Oh yeah, they're. I think they're going to Italy next, and then all over the place. Moscow, Great Britain, Germany.
Yeah, no moss grows there, and actually, when they go over to say the UK, they're like rock stars over there. I mean, people are lining up for hours.
Yeah, well, they were getting a fair share of people, coming up and talking to them and stuff. So, but you saw how kind of casual it was when I sent you that little video when they came off the field. Yeah. I just happened to be sitting having my lunch, and I saw them walking off, and I surreptitiously videoed them. But they're just regular guys, And
yeah, absolutely they are. And you've got a pretty good mic on that, because they looked like they were a fair distance from you, and I could still hear what they were saying.
Yeah, you heard him say that. Somebody said, "Oh, what kind of did you find $1 million or something?" And he's like, "No, I found And so I was hoping you could pick that up.
Yeah, I heard KG saying he got an 1803.
Yeah, it's a beautiful coin. That's I guess. I don't know if that's a flowing hair one or what, whatever. That's in one of the early ones. But,
yeah, draped bust, I believe.
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, I'm not an expert on those, but I know the early ones look a lot different. I'm looking in the window. The guy's still talking, but I could probably get one of those guys to come outside, just talk to you. So. But
yeah, you never know.
I figured, since I'm here, I wasn't going to come, And then I said, I'll call Josh's show. But then I'm like, oh, wait a minute. If I go there, I can probably have those guys, talk on the show. So that would be interesting.
Yeah, well, and I'm sure that so far, the way it sounds, you've thoroughly enjoyed yourself, and you've still got a few days left, because this goes on, to the end of the weekend.
Yeah, well, Sunday is the seated hunt that they have, and Saturday, I don't think they have any hunts scheduled for Saturday. I think it's all, they have what they call their show and classes. They have different people, like C.T. Todd will give a
few years back he gave a presentation on permissions.
Yeah, well, he's going to be talking about getting better depth out of the Equinox and the XP Deus. So he's given a seminar. Somebody else is giving another one about other, cleaning coins, and they've got 4 or 5 different seminars going on, during the show.
Right. I've seen some of the YouTube videos of them in the past, and they've always done a good job with the seminars that they do.
Oh yeah, They put a good presentation together. I was just sitting with George Streeter. He's the guy that puts this whole thing on,
right?
And he's a crotchety old guy, but he's a fun guy to talk to, and he's been in the hobby for a long time, and he goes down to the Caribbean still, hunting for gold rings and stuff.
Right.
So he's still active. I don't know if he's 75 years old or what he is, but he's older. Somebody's giving a thumbs up. He's older than that. But
well, and he's earned that right. I mean, he's been in it quite some time.
Yeah, well, he told me one thing you got to do is not get old. That's what he told me today when we were having dinner. I said,
exactly.
Already, George.
Yeah, don't let the age catch up with you or the health. Keep the health as long as you can too.
How you been feeling, Josh? You been dealing with everything okay?
Well, I don't know. The jury's still kind of out on that. The last treatment, they wound up blowing through a vein and had to switch arms so they could get the treatment done, and we've still got a lot of questionable points on the routine blood work that they're trying to understand what is happening, because apparently my white blood cell count's going a little out of whack.
Oh, well, I guess I hope you can pull away from all that and get a handle on it, because it sounds like a very complex thing that affects so many different things in your body. So
yeah. Well, unfortunately, that's kind of the nature of the beast when you're dealing with disease modifiers and everything. But they ran me for blood work 6 months ago, and they didn't like the numbers they were seeing, and said then that hopefully they came back down and, God forbid, climbed any higher, or they were going to have to figure out what the problem was. And this time around, they're actually even higher than the last time.
Oh, well, we're all got you in our prayers to see that you make that you get to the point where you can survive with this and deal with it and not have it impact your life too much. And I just,
right. I'm just
sincerely hope that
I'm just too stubborn to quit.
Well, we're all pulling for you, and we want you to, be 100% as much as you can be. And it's great to see that when I see a post that you've been out there detecting and stuff, it makes me feel great that you're still doing it. So,
right. Well, and hopefully I'll have another one of them posts this weekend. I wasn't going to go out and brave the water. It's pretty chilly, but it just so happens that somebody lost an item that they need recovered. So.
Oh, really?
So you're
going to be doing a search, search and recovery.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, good luck. Good luck on that. That's always a fun thing. I'm going to go
hopefully
inside and see if I can rustle one of those guys up. Last time I walked in, I was talking on the phone, and everybody looked at me.
Right, they're going, ooh, bad timing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like I can hear him. It sounds like the reenactor's still giving his speech.
Yeah, he's got the gun out now.
Uh-oh. Things are getting serious.
Yeah, well, that's he's giving quite a long dissertation there.
Right.
But
how many people do you think have attended this year?
Well, it's over 100, I know that. It's probably between 100 and 125 totally. But
nice.
I don't know how many went in for the whole week program, because you can just go per day, like by day, or you can buy the whole package. I happened to buy the whole package this year, so that
it's probably cheaper in the long run that way.
Oh, it is, yeah. And you get free admission to these events and the meal and everything, so it's all included in the package. So the only thing you got to pay extra is your hotel, but but that's fine with me.
Right.
I'm away, and I'd be doing something else if I wasn't doing this. So I'd be working most likely. But
well, it's still good to get out and do some hunting too.
Oh yeah, I mean, I try to squeeze hunting in when I can around everything else, and it's usually dribs and drabs. A couple hours here, weekend, couple hours. But to do it all day, I mean, by the end of the day, you're pretty dragging. Because I look at the little step counter on my phone, and it says anywhere from 12,000 steps to 18,000 steps. By the end of the day, that's a lot of steps.
Absolutely,
you're constantly, what it is. You're constantly walking and poking around. I was digging through the woods yesterday, and unfortunately, the woods didn't really have too much. I'm used to the woods up here having a few stray things in them. Buckles, coins.
Right.
But these woods seem to be pretty bland, in my opinion, anyway. So,
and I'm going
that was my only disappointment.
Right, and I'm going to guess, since you mentioned you weren't using your Pro, you were probably using your CTX this week?
combination of CTX and the XP Deus.
Okay.
I kept the AT Pro as a backup in case something happened to one of my other machines, but both of them have been working fantastically, and it's just a matter of getting over the target. I think. I hope that's what the problem is. I looked at what KG dragged in this when you saw him. He had a ton of stuff. I mean, maybe like 20 items. And I had like 5 or 6 in my pouch, and I was like, it makes
you stop and wonder a little bit, right? Yeah. Well, it's just like anywhere else, though, with some of these sort of organized hunts and everything. A lot of times they'll tell you, well, we can put you on a spot, but it's up to you to get your coil over the target.
Oh, yeah, exactly. It's just, there's 100 people going out at once, and you don't want to, like, walk right behind somebody, so you take a different line. But it comes down to combination of skill and a certain amount of luck too, I guess. But I think they're very skillful with they use the AT Max, I think, because they're all using Garrett machines. Right. And you see those guys, and they're just strutting across the field, and boom, boom, boom. It's like they're just, you see them stop, boom. They do everything real fast. They don't waste any time.
Well, and you have to stop and think too, though. Stop and take into consideration, look at how much time, say like Ringy and KG, for example, spend in the field. So they know those machines very, very well. They're an extension of themselves. And actually, I think we've got Swansea on with us.
Uh-oh.
Well, hello, Josh. Hello, Fred.
Boy. Hey, how's it going? He
probably heard you saying you were going to be sneaking into his backyard.
Yeah. Well, no, I was going to comment on the fact that Fred just said he called our woods bland.
Oh.
Well, this particular woods, in my opinion, was kind of sterile. I couldn't find anything anyway. I mean, I did find a couple interesting things. So I found a branch, and it was laying on the ground. It was from a pine tree. It's about an inch in that cross section, and my detector was going off on it. And then I split it in half with a little screwdriver, and it had a pistol musket ball inside the branch.
Nice.
That must have penetrated the branch. So I kept that intact, so it was like the little. And then I found another bullet in another tree today, another tree branch. So I have two of those things, which are kind of unusual. You ever find anything like that, Swansea?
Oh, we find them all the time up here, buddy. I'm surprised you didn't find more shotgun shells, 22 shells. I mean, the biggest thing in New Hampshire is people like to walk out in the woods and shoot.
Exactly.
Well, I found that kind of stuff.
Very good point.
I mean, sterile on the point of
coins.
Finding good coins, or shoe buckles, or Spanish real. I don't have my sights set too high, but I love finding that kind of stuff when I can run over it, but I didn't find anything like that. So.
I figured up there, since you're getting up there close to Swansea's neck of the woods, he's already scooped up all them reals. He's got a magnet for them or something.
Yeah, well, he's going to have to show me where they are.
In his display case.
Yeah. Now we have to get together, Swansea, while I'm up here.
Oh, for sure, buddy. Where was the bone hunt this year?
Well, this one was up in Bennington, I think it is, about 30 miles up to 101 and past Peterborough. It was a big open field and woods up there. And then tomorrow and the next day, it's going to be, I think, in West Swansea, near you. There's some big cornfield with some kind of ugly silo on it or something. You might know.
Yep, I know exactly the exact field you're talking about. It's off of Homestead Ave in Swansea.
Okay, well, that's where we're going tomorrow. So and also on Friday. So that's where we'll be camped out. So I know you don't do this event, but whatever. But I find it interesting just to come up here to your neck of the woods and see what I can find. But I really haven't found that much super stuff, but I'm enjoying myself tremendously, and I'm not sorry I came up here.
Well, and
my wife
really,
Fred,
why are you going?
It's not the hunt; it's the people.
Exactly. I was going to say, in the end of it all, it's not necessarily what you found, but that you had fun. You enjoyed yourself. That's the important part.
Oh yeah, the people are so open, and everybody's involved in the same thing, and they all have a common cause, and there isn't any like overt competition or jealousy or anything. It's just we're all pulling for the same thing, and everybody wants to find something nice. But it's interesting to see people come in and see what they have,
it's everybody's looking for the history, and you don't have to worry so much about the people out there that are like, well, my CTX is better than your AT Pro, or my AT Max is better than your Deus, or whatever.
Yeah, you see, well, there's quite a few Equinox people, because that seems to be the hot.
It's a very
hot
popular
unit
machine
right now.
Yeah.
But I still saw a lot of CTX, a lot of Deus, AT Pros, AT Max, Fisher machines. Some people were using old white 6000D or something. I don't know, some with a big box on the back.
Oh yeah, the old arm breakers.
Yeah, I mean, these guys, some of them are just so into their machine. They've had it for 20 years, and they don't want to get rid of it, no matter what comes out. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, probably a little over 10 years ago, we were all at an organized hunt that was whites users, basically. And out of those people, the vast majority of them at that time were running DFX machines. And there was another older gentleman there. He had an old white 6000D machine. He just stayed in like a little 15-foot area, moving nice, slow, and methodical. And finally, a couple of us went over and asked him, said, are you having much luck over here? And man, when he started emptying out his pouch, there's a reason why they're still using that machine. They know it that well. They do very, very well with them when they know their machines that well.
Well, it's like Brandon with his AT Pro. I mean, he knows. You're still using that, right, Brandon?
I am still using it. I do have an Equinox 800, which I haven't done a lot with yet. But no, that AT Pro, though, is still my go-to, Fred. I mean, I've gone out to a few sites with the Knox, and I've pulled out maybe a couple of things that the AT Pro would have missed. But that AT Pro with the Nell coil, there is nothing that I swear to God any machine could find that I can't find with that machine. I mean, like you said, the extension of my arm, I know it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know it, and that's what a lot of these people that go with the flavor of the month don't understand. You buy a new machine, you got to learn that machine, and it's a learning curve. And if you know something, that's why I haven't jumped onto the Equinox bandwagon yet. I don't want to have to learn another machine. Feel like I'm still learning my own, my between the Deus and the the nuances and the tweaking of it and everything. But I can understand the allure of getting a new machine, because they do, that thing does have such a massive reputation ahead of it. It's multi-frequency, and it's fast, it's light. It has all the benefits.
And sure, you're going to find things with it. I mean, let's face it, any of them out there are going to find metal. Some of them are going to do it better than others, or separate better than others, but they're all going to find metal. So you're going to find stuff with it, but you're going to, usually more often than not, you are going to be more productive with the machine that you know the best. And that's because of the time you spend with it. You know that machine.
Right. Oh, for sure, Josh. I mean, it's going to take me 2-3 years to using the Equinox, which I hate to say. I don't see putting that kind of time into it, but I know the AT Pro so well. And I know the Tornado coil, and I know the 5x8. I know the concentric coil. I know everything on that machine. I just can't give the Equinox the amount of time that it probably needs to learn the machine. Again, my baby is the AT Pro. It's introducing a new dog or a new cat into the household, and you just want to give it the love and the attention. I can't do it with the Knox.
Yeah, it's tough to pick up a new machine, especially when you've got the standby still right there where you're like, oh, well, yeah, this is fun, but I'm really serious about this site. I'm going back to what I know. I'm just going to set this one down and pick up what I know just for a little bit. And then you find yourself staying with it because that's what you know. And you start working time in on the new machine here and there, and eventually you get to know it too.
Well, and that's just it. I'm taking it to sites that I have pounded the hell out of with the AT Pro. You know, old cellar holes, old farm fields, stuff like that. That's the only place that I'm bringing the Knox to. The AT Pro is always in the back of the vehicle, though, because when I get frustrated and I say, well, there's nothing here to be found with either machine, take out the AT Pro again, and, you know, I surprise myself. That's the hard part. I'm not really finding a whole lot with the Knox. Maybe there's a couple of targets that the AT Pro didn't find, but I go back to the AT Pro and I'm still getting more non-ferrous targets over and over again, where the Knox, it's that learning curve. I've got to put the time into it. I've got 8 years on the AT Pro. I've got 7 or 8 hunts on the Knox.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and you're going to find, you know, they will both perform well in the field, but you're still going to find cases where different scenarios, different environments, whatever, one may have a little bit of an edge over the other at certain times.
Yeah, well, you use both. You use the Deus and the Knox, don't you, Josh?
Yeah.
So you've learned that machine pretty well, I guess. I mean, your learning curve was pretty fast on that.
Well, but you have to stop and think too. Like Swansea was saying, you know, I used my AT Pro for 8 years. Well, for me, when I went to the Knox, I've already had years of experience with multiple MineLab machines. So
right, yeah, you were using the CTX a lot, and
right
before that you were using.
Yeah, I've used the CTX, the E-Track, the Excalibur, the Go Find, a number of different MineLab machines and coils. So the transition over to the Equinox wasn't too terribly bad for me.
Right. I mean, it has a whole different number sequence on the Equinox, though, right? It doesn't have the dual number.
Yeah, it does have a different number sequence, so you don't have the ferrous and conductive scale like you do from the CTX. One of the good ways that I can compare it would be if you've ever ran across, say, a Safari. That's the single number set sort of system.
Okay.
So it really wasn't all that bad. I mean, throw a few test targets down on the ground to see a rough idea of where things ring up, and then get out there and start digging everything and trying to guess your target, so to speak, and you start to get a better feel for it when you see those numbers come up on the screen. You're like, oh yeah, I'm right there in a silver quarter range with this target, or yeah, I'm right there in penny dime range. We'll see what it is. Things like that.
Yeah, I'll hear people.
Well, Josh, I will weigh in on that when I find a silver quarter or a silver dime with it.
Oh, you haven't found any silver with it yet? I heard they're good.
No, just Indian head pennies and a couple of large cents. That's it so far.
Hey, that works too, though. I mean, those large cents, there's no mistaking it when you get it under that Equinox coil. They ring up nice.
Oh, for any coin, really, Josh. I mean, I've dug up a couple of wheat cents. I mean, it doesn't matter what the coin is. If it's a coin under the Equinox coil, there is no doubt in your mind that is a coin. I will tell you that. It's a magnet.
That is true. Last fall, I went through a spot that was pretty trashy, and I wound up, you could hear that high-pitched tone, and I'm looking at my screen, and I'm going, well, that looks like it's kind of in the dime range. Cut the plug, and it was a silver dime. And I went to put that silver dime up, and I had my pinpointer laying there. It kind of dropped down into the hole, and the pinpointer's still going off. I waved the Equinox coil over it, and then I heard all the iron. I didn't hear it at first. I heard the coin. But the thing was surrounded by I'm going to say 5 or 6 probably nails.
Wow.
But you could hear it just fine.
Yeah, they seem to have the programming worked out pretty well on the program for that thing. You know, for isolating the iron separation and all. And they're very fast too, like a Deus, right? They have a recovery speed.
Yes.
That's very fast.
Yeah, they can be a very responsive machine, very fast.
Yeah.
It's almost, I hate to say it, versus the AT Pro, it's almost too fast. I mean, you get literally, you got 2 iron nails on the side of a coin, and it is so fast. You have to slow that coil down so much that you can get the coin for sure. There's no doubt about it that it's the coin, but geez, you have to I'm a slow swinger to begin with, but it's almost like snail pace to be able to get something between 2 targets because it responds back to the coil and the headset so fast. It's unreal. And I think that's what I'm really having an issue with dealing with is how quick the response time is versus my swing speed.
Yeah. Could be.
Well, it's I know it's a machine that I'm interested in it myself, just curious more than anything, you know, but I entered the raffle up here and they're raffling off one, so maybe the way my raffle expertise is going this week, where I won 2 raffles so far, maybe I don't want to jinx myself though.
Yeah,
maybe
who knows? Maybe you'll have a machine going home with you. Is this a raffle for? I'm going to assume it's a raffle for an 800.
It's a 600 and an 800. They're raffling. I think the winner gets both of them, which, you know, I that's what I assume anyway. It says you're raffling off a 600 and 800. I don't know if they're only one raffle ticket, so I would think, you know, maybe they're giving them to separate people.
Yeah, but maybe what they're doing is one gets the 8, the other gets the 6.
Yeah, I mean, the 6 is not a big downgrade from the 8 as far as I've heard.
No,
it's a couple things.
Right, yeah, it's just got a few less features, a couple less frequencies, but, I mean, realistically, if a person were to go out and buy one when they're available, because dealers do sell out of them quite quick when they come in, they're probably better off just spending the extra, because the cost difference isn't that much. Just spend the extra and get the 800.
All right, yeah, I mean, if you were to win a 600, I wouldn't give it back. But you know,
yeah, I wouldn't kick it to the side of the road or anything. Still a very good machine.
Yeah, I've heard. You know, I think Loy guy that does he has his own blog. But anyway, I think he hunts with a 600, and he says, "Oh, we do just as well with that as with the 800." You know, in the relic hunting that he does. I think he uses a lot for relic hunting. So the 600 knocks. So, you know, I'm just curious I'd like to hold one in my hand and just try it. You know, I've never done that. So,
right.
But,
well, Fred, I will tell you one thing. The reason I actually bought the knots was the weight difference.
It is very light.
You pick it up and it feels like you're holding a pinpointer.
Yeah.
Right.
Pretty much.
It's like working with the Deus. I mean, they're similar weight. I think the Equinox is just slightly, you know, ounces heavier. Because it has
I want to say it's like 6 ounces heavier, maybe.
Yeah,
but there again,
sort of
fairly well balanced, just like the Deus.
Right. Yep. Yeah. I mean, the Deus. When I go out in the morning, I've been going out with the 30-30 and doing the morning, and then I come back and I switch over to the Deus, and I feel like I'm just swinging my arm around, you know, with nothing on it. So
like Swansea was saying,
from
with
5 pounds to 2 points. You know?
Yeah, like Swansea was saying with the Equinox, it's like kind of waving a pinpointer around. Basically, I mean, it's only 6 ounces heavier, so not bad at all.
And that's the one knock I give with the AT Pro. It is not balanced, especially when you put a nail coil on the end of that thing. It is so coil heavy. I mean, it's unbelievable. You do a 3 or 4 hour hunt, which, you know, when I started, we would do 8 hour hunts. I'm getting older. You know, I'm not Josh's age by any means, or Fred's age, thank God. But just saying, as you get older, that coil heavy machine is going to take a toll on that shoulder.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
and
how old are you?
I am 39 years old.
Oh my God. Knocking on 40's door. I can't believe it.
I know. It's like midlife crisis time.
Oh boy. Yeah, that's
which is why I bought the Nox, Josh. You know, I hit that midlife crisis.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you've already got the new car.
No red Corvette, thanks. I bought a Rogue, thanks. I'm good.
Red Corvette, you know. Come on.
But yeah, it absolutely, like Swansea was saying, I mean, I got to agree. The AT Pro, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a fantastic machine. People do very well with it. It's a very popular machine. My personal opinion, though, I guess, they're front heavy. So, like Swansea said, the balance isn't all that great, especially once you get a larger coil on there. Then that's obviously going to enhance the whole off-balance thing, and it's going to be even more noticeably front-heavy.
Right. Well, it's still a good machine. It was one that I did a lot of learning with, and I'm gonna let you talk to Swansea for a minute. While I go inside, I'm going to mute my phone and see if I can get those guys to come out, all right? Because I don't want to make your show run too late.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
I'll be right back.
But yeah, I mean, and like I said, and you know, Swansea, the AT Pro's a great machine. It's served you very well for some time now. But
of course. Again, very, very coil heavy. I mean, even the stock coil's heavy on that machine. You put the 5x8 on it, yeah, it's not too bad. But,
yeah, not too bad.
I'm one of those people that I'm a field hunter, so I prefer the larger ground coverage. You put that thing on there, I mean, it's like leaning forward. It's almost like you have a weight on your arm.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's, I mean, I love the CTX too. It was a great machine, but that's exactly why I don't use one now. I mean, there are better balanced machines out there, lighter machines to where, like you said, we're not getting any younger, so at least I'm not tearing my shoulder out.
Well, then, especially if you're a long day hunter. I mean, it's different if you're doing a couple hours out there in the field or, cellar holes or whatever. But if you're going to spend 4, 5, 6 hours out there, it's going to take a toll. I don't care if you're 25 years old or 40 years old or 60 years old. It's really going to take a toll on the shoulder, especially when you get into spots that are not real productive. You're not digging a lot of holes. That creates problems, too.
Hey, Josh.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you. I got KG and Ringy here. They want to say hello. So.
Hey, Josh. How you doing, buddy? KG here.
Well, how's it going? Congratulations on the 1803.
Thank you, buddy. Yeah, that's a great find.
Yeah, you didn't see what I found yet, or you wouldn't be congratulating him.
Well, it sounds like the competition still stays intense with you two.
Oh, it's still hot and heavy.
Yep, it's still there. Hey, Josh, it's been a while. Last time we talked to you, we were in Iowa, I think.
That's right. You were out there in Illinois doing some work with Chuck. He's actually over in Italy right now.
Yeah, and we're going to Italy tomorrow. Weird.
Wow.
Yeah, these guys have a full schedule. They're going all over to Europe.
We'll be in Italy starting tomorrow. Then we come back for a couple of weeks. Then we go to Russia, Slovenia, Germany, England twice, the Netherlands. We're going to be everywhere.
See, and that's what I was telling Fred. When especially when you guys get over to, say, the UK area, it's like you're rock stars. I mean, people are lining up for blocks.
Oh, they do that at my house.
I'll tell you one thing with these guys, they have an endless sense of humor.
No, absolutely, absolutely.
So, I just wanted them to say hello since I was here at their event. I don't want to keep them too long from their buddies, but I think they were getting a little tired of the reenactor thing. It was going kind of long. But this guy's very interesting anyway.
Yeah, we're learning some stuff. Never hurts to learn.
Hey,
when you're traveling all the time.
Yeah, you never know. That information could come in handy sometime. Although, do you ever find yourself saying, "No, I don't think it's quite the way you say it is. Actually, it's this way."
Well,
that's always the way it is with Tim around.
Well, I want to ask you guys, we were just having a discussion about the weight balance of an AT Pro. Do you feel they're nose heavy, the AT Pro and the Max, or you feel they're well balanced? Or?
I don't know.
You used to it.
When you got big arms like mine, it doesn't I think they're pretty close. It depends on what coil you have on it.
Yeah. I tend to hunt with the little coil on it a lot because we do a lot of junky areas and stuff, and you can go all day with those. There's
I like that.
To it.
I like that 5x8 on the AT Pro.
Right.
Swansea's got an L coil.
Yeah, they're not bad at that.
Nose
point.
heavy. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But he said you can find anything with that thing, with that coil.
Yeah.
Well, they're working on some new stuff, so hang in there.
Oh yeah. Okay. No.
Right.
No great revelations
I didn't
here.
say that.
Technological race. We all win in the end.
I just got a text that George was fired.
Hey, Josh, it's good talking to you again,
All right,
buddy.
you guys. I'll let you
Yeah,
get back inside.
absolutely.
All right, man. All right. Thanks for coming out.
Yeah.
Safe travels,
Have a
guys.
safe trip tomorrow. All right. Thumbs up. That was nice.
Mm-hmm.
So that was an exclusive.
Yeah, never a dull moment.
Beyond
when
Sight
those,
and Sound.
never a dull
Yeah,
moment
well-
when those two are around.
They're like those guys. They seem to have so much fun. You know, they make their job enjoyable. You know, so
Well, yeah,
I think they were glad to come out.
kind of like we were saying earlier. That's the important part: is just have fun.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm doing, and it doesn't matter if I find a real or a large cent or something. I'll still have fun, you know. But it would make it sweeter. We'll put it that way.
Well, like I said, if you're getting up there into Swansea's neck of the woods, he may have that market kind of cornered on you.
Well, I have to see if we got to get together while I'm up here, and maybe I can do some detecting with them. So.
Well, I'm going to tell you the one
still on?
problem there, Fred, is if you find one in a field that I've been in, that's going to irritate the crap out of me because I know I've already covered that ground.
All right. Well, I don't know. That makes me have a little hope for tomorrow, but I would I would keep my hopes up. So.
Yeah, no, we've hit that. I think I know the spot you guys are going to, and I've got a local group up here that we've hit a lot of this places that you mentioned the silo. That's pretty much what told me exactly where you're going in West Swansea. We've had group hunts there in that spot several times. But again, a lot of them have been newer detectorists using the Ace 250s, Ace 150s. It hasn't been a consistently hunted spot. And if you get bored, Fred, if something happens after the hunt, give me a buzz because I've got a local cornfield around the corner from that spot that's 125 acres. I can put you on that pre-permission.
Well, see, that almost sounds like a better day all the way around.
Yeah, well, that would be fine with me. I mean, Saturday I'm available to do extracurricular hunting, and I was telling Josh I met a young couple. I loaned them my AT Pro, and they're up north of Bennington, and they said they have a bunch of cellar holes on their property, so I may go up there Saturday and hunt a little bit up on their property, see how that works out.
And you never know.
Cellar holes are the places to be, buddy.
You may have to twist. You may have to twist Swansea's arm a little bit since he's such a busy guy, but you may even be able to talk him into stopping and getting a bite to eat with you, maybe have a beer or two.
Yeah, he can bring the Knox up there and give it a workout on the cellar hole.
No, I'm not taking a Knox to a cellar hole. It's going to be the AT Pro, buddy.
Right, we revert back to what we know.
Exactly.
Yeah, I asked those guys a question about the weight of the AT Pro to try to see what they would say, but they came out with a little sly thing there that they got some new things coming out. So we'll see what that is. Maybe that should be interesting.
Well, and we've got announcements coming down the pipe from many of the manufacturers. Actually, I know MindLab, they're fixing to hit the market with some new things. Garrett is, Note to Macro is currently.
Wow.
And it's that technological race that we've been talking about for a while on the show, where it's great to see competition is good, and in the end, we win out there in the field.
Yeah, Chuck's always saying that. He's saying, they battle it up between themselves, and we're the winners for it. And that's really the way it is. I mean,
right. Yeah, and
actually, Davis wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that.
And there's another one, XP. They're coming out with new and innovative things as well. And when we had Deleek on from Note to Macro a while back here, she had even said herself they love seeing new things coming from the other manufacturers because competition is good. It's healthy. It forces everybody to stay on their game.
That's why we don't want to have a socialist government. There'll be no competition.
Well,
there'll be government issued metal detectors.
Well, see, and that's the value of history, because we've seen how that's worked for other areas.
Yeah, well, we know. You just have to look at Venezuela to understand how socialism works. So I don't understand the allure of it to so many people, but people always want to have a free thing, what they think is free. But
I guess
I don't want to get into that political conversation.
I guess that's the great thing about options. People are presented with many different options and choices. Sometimes it's not necessarily the best decision that they make, but they still stick with it because they think that's the best for them. That's the advantage of freedom, I guess. Whether it's the right choice or the wrong choice, you still have the ability to make that choice.
Yeah, what you're talking about, though, with the competition amongst different manufacturers, that's something that could be stifled if you didn't have a capitalist environment, because there would be no advantage for people to do it, Because now, XP wants to get a bigger share of the market. It all comes down to money in the end, for them. And, everybody's going to buy a Equinox. MindLab must be happier than a pig in whatever, with all the sales of their Equinox.
It is a very, very popular machine, yes.
Yeah, they got to be elated with the response to that machine. So it's the competition between the manufacturers is a great thing. There's maybe some manufacturers that didn't keep up, like, I don't know, maybe Tesoro could be named as a example to that because they dropped out.
Well, I think they just kind of fell out altogether.
Yeah, it just dissolved, right?
Yeah, I don't know that they're coming. I mean, there have been people talking that let's wait and see what happens. Maybe they'll make a comeback, but I don't know. The longer we wait, the less we hear. They may be out for the count.
Yeah, well, once a dinosaur goes extinct, it's extinct usually. So maybe that's what happened to them, on their own basis. They seem to be good machines. I never used one, but a lot of people say they're the best machines for seated hunts because they're
actually there are a number of competition hunters out there that love the compadre.
Yeah, I hear that in my own club. Some of these guys use Tesoro, so I'm like, oh, really? And it all comes down to I guess the speed and the lightness and whatever, but because the seated hunt's nothing's ever going to be deep, It's all surface pretty much.
Exactly. Proper tools for proper tasks. And the compadre was a very economically affordable price point, very light, very fast, and it made it a strong contender, especially for a competition hunter.
Does that have a display, or does it have a needle that goes back and forth? How old is the detector?
No, it's just a beep and dig. There's no needle. There's no display. There's
no
just
display
a speaker. Speaker and knobs.
Beep, 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 beep. Okay. Yeah. Well, that really seems primitive, but
sometimes less is best. Sometimes simplicity is, it takes all the hassle and headache out of things. And realistically, and people will hear us mention this on the upcoming episode that we've got with Gary Cook, from XP, that, we were talking and referring to the advantage of audio over VDI, or the advantage of tone hunting over, say, screen hunting. Because the screens are nice bells and whistles. They're great secondary and third reference points, but audio usually wins out over VDI every time. And those that were old school hunters, like you said, maybe they had the needle, or at the very least they had the speaker. They trained their ears to listen to that audio, and that became an asset later on into their career in the hobby, because they've already got an edge, because they already listen primarily for the audio. They may still use the screen as a second or third reference, but they're listening to the audio, because people, and Swansea will tell you the same thing, people that put too much faith in the numbers are missing things. So, like these newcomers that come into the hobby and they buy the latest and greatest machines, sometimes the best accessory they can buy is a piece of duct tape. Cover that screen up. Just listen for a little bit. Relax and listen. Get to understand what that machine's telling you.
Or, of course, Josh, good headphones. That's my point, is the sound that you hear coming out of your machine. The biggest discriminator is your mind and what your ears are hearing. Exactly. That is the biggest thing. Throw that screen out the window. I don't care. I mean, I see Kurt and those guys from the Hoover Boys using the ATX. There is no VDI numbers.
Right.
Those numbers mean absolute garbage to me when it comes to whether I'm using the AT Pro or the Knox now, or back when I had my Ace 250.
And it doesn't matter.
And my head tells me what to dig.
Right. You are the final discriminator, and it doesn't matter which, take any manufacturer out there, take your pick, any model of machine, and actually sit down and read that manual. And one of the things that you will notice is across the board, they will tell you that the VDIs are a guesstimate. They're a general idea. It's not foolproof.
For me, it's a number to throw into my head saying that when I dig targets in this number range, this is what it could be. Now, like a 52 on the AT Pro, that could be a half real, that could be a set of 1700s cufflinks, that could be a half dime, that could be a Civil War token. It doesn't matter what it is, flat button, tomback. It's just a number that I throw in my mind. But the ears tell me every time, does this sound like iron? No, because my iron audio is always on. It goes back and forth in my head. What could it be? But again, I'm not going to walk on anything non-ferrous. So therefore, do I really need a VDI screen? Do I even need 5 tones? Do I need 50 tones? I'm going to dig anything above non-ferrous. Exactly. That's just it. The biggest discriminator is what's inside your own mind.
Right. And you'll find too. I
was trying to do that today. So.
And you'll find too.
Sound digs, yeah.
That
go ahead.
Some of these people, they their preference, they don't like to use headphones, so they'll just use the speaker of their detector, their external speaker, which is fine if that's what they're used to, that's what they've accustomed their ear to. But you'll notice too, a lot of times you can listen to that tone through the external speaker of your machine, and then you can plug in a quality set of headphones and listen to that tone again, and it will sound different.
I agree 100%. The sound coming out of the speaker of any metal detector versus a good set of headphones does not sound the same. You don't get the nuances of a tone, so to speak, like a high-low tone or a low-high tone.
Exactly.
It doesn't come out of a speaker the same way it does in a good set of headphones. Plus, the recovery speed time doesn't sound the same either. It's very delayed when you, if you unplug your headphones out of an AT Pro, the sounds are very delayed what target you're going over. Versus when you have it in your headphones, a large cent or a copper tone or a silver tone or anything like that, it just pops. The way it's supposed to pop. I mean, not probably cheap headphones, but, Grey Ghost or the regular Garrett headphones that come with it, something like that. it's a totally different sound. There may only be a few tones on an AT Pro, but you hear differences in that tone when you have a set of headphones on your head.
Right, exactly. And even if it is, say, like you said, a pair of Garrett headphones, well, chances are good that the manufacturer has selected that particular type of speaker in those headphones, or whatever the case is, because that's what they feel works best with that machine.
Yeah, and plus you're not hearing all the external noises, leaves rustling, wind, car traffic, whatever.
Right, exactly.
On,
Exactly, because sometimes it is hard to listen to that signal.
Know?
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, if you have it going on the external speaker, that could get washed out by, like today it was very windy, or in the fall, you're going through the deep leaves, all that noise. So,
right.
I always use headphones, and I'm a strong advocate for that. But, it's always, no matter how long you do this hobby, you're still picking up subtle nuances and learning different things.
Although Swansea will probably tell you too that in the fall you have to be aware of your surroundings and keep an eye out for the ninja squirrel.
I was waiting for that one.
Yeah, I was waiting.
Do not set your hand back to pick up your digger again, and you put your hand on a furry little animal. That is definitely not acceptable.
Right. Not exactly what we had in mind.
Of a little squirrel. A little squirrel's not going to hurt you.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, Fred, it will scare the hell out of you when you go to reach back for your shovel and you're in the hole, with the pinpointer. You think, I got to dig a little bit further. And you grab that shovel and you put your hand on something furry and it moves. Yeah, you might think differently.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that being a shock to your system. But,
right? Yeah.
I was in the woods. I was in the woods a lot, but I didn't see any ninja squirrels. Their little black suits give them away.
There you go.
Nice.
So, yeah.
But yeah, with you going up there near Swansea's neck of the woods the next couple of days and all, you may want to reach out to him, and who knows, maybe you guys.
Yeah,
we'll
get together. We'll get together, Brandon. I'll give you a call. And next couple of days, I'll be right in your neck of the woods. You drive by, you'll beat the horn. I'll come over and
for sure, buddy.
Show you everything.
You got the number. Give me a buzz. No, I can't show you the Real fields when you were with a bunch of group diggers, but I can show you where I get them in other times.
Okay, well, yeah, I'm pretty impressed with these diggers, though. There's a lot of good people that are swinging their detectors. They seem to be pretty competent, They're not a bunch of slugs.
That and George always has good fields. I won't fault the guy for that. He always has good fields. He's got great places to go. The treasure show that's going to come up on Saturday, which I'm sure you're going to go to that. That's always impressive. Dave Wise is going to be there with a couple of big stands, big cases worth of finds and stuff like that. Connecticut Todd, he always has some good, display cases out there. The treasure show
displays.
Is also a huge part of this.
Yeah.
I'm usually not here for that, but I'm going to go to it because actually they give out those awards, and they're going to give me an award. It must be because I came here 4 years in a row. They're getting kind of to the bottom of the barrel if they're starting to give me awards. But listen, I'll take it. I don't care.
Hey, look at it this way, Fred. You can safely say it's not because you're the oldest hunter there.
No, I don't think I am. But I'm probably up in the upper echelon anyway. So, it'll be 68 next month. So I'm getting up there. But still able to do it all day. So
hey, that's the important part.
As long as I can get back up after I get down, I'll keep doing it.
Right.
Like
I'm still working
on that
part.
Yeah. Well, you keep doing it, and we want to see you out there, Josh. So you get out there and do it, and get Pam out there too. I can see she's been digging lately, so you can teach her the ropes.
Oh yeah, she's doing quite well.
Yeah. Every time I see her go out, she's got a nice display of finds. So that's what makes you get the enthusiasm for the sport, this hobby, whatever you want to call it. But once you start finding a couple of decent things, puts the fever in you. So
right.
I know my wife can't believe how enthusiastic I am about metal detecting, that I'm up here for a week, without her.
Well, but at the same time, though, she supports it.
Oh, she is. She's very supportive. She's always been that way with my different hobbies, but in this one, I think she really likes it because, I used to be into cycling and I'd be on the side of the road all the time, and she was always worried I was going to get run over. But now, my biggest threat is probably the ninja squirrel.
Or the tick.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've been really tucking my socks over my pants and wrapping them up with blue tape and spraying permethrin on my clothes.
But I noticed that
I haven't
in the
seen
photo.
The tick, though.
Good.
Yeah. Oh, you saw
it? Speaking of which, congratulations to Bill too. Today he got his blood results back and he's Lyme's free finally. But
nice. I saw that on Facebook.
Yeah.
So,
of course, now there's always the after effect though that you have to deal with, the complications that come from dealing with it for the amount of time.
Is that like neurological after effects or something? What kind of after effects do you have from that?
Oh,
does it make you weaker? Or?
It all depends. It can affect people a lot of different ways. There may be, some forgetfulness or brain fog for some people. There may be fatigue for other people. It may be just aches and pains,
muscle
and sore joints, Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm trying everything I can to keep those little suckers from climbing up my legs. So, I've been saying there's ticks. I didn't see any. Tell you the truth, I never saw one crawling on me, but I'll take the precautions because better than having to go through what he went through,
it's better than dealing with it. I mean, Barb and Bill both would agree. I'm sure you don't want to have to deal with it. Better off sticking with the precautions.
Yeah, no, it's definitely better to take a few steps. I was like spraying it on my pants while I was there, and this girl came up to me and said, "Oh, you're really supposed to pre-treat your clothes." I said, "I don't care. I'm doing it this way." So,
I'm not taking any chances.
Before, so I'm gonna keep those little suckers off me because they're nasty, and it's gonna be a bad year for them supposedly. From what I've heard. That's what they claim again.
I think so.
Yeah, because everybody's talking tick, tick, tick. That's all you hear them talking about. So.
One other thing, Josh, I wanted to point out on your show, too. Bob D, that's always in your chat room, he found a mass copper today up in Maine.
Wow, I have not heard about that yet. Good job, Bob.
Yeah, he sent me a picture he texted me earlier today saying, "Is this what I think it is?" And I looked at it, and of course I know the coin very well, and he found himself his first 1700s coin. Also happened to be a mass copper. Yep. Congratulations to Bob. Just want to throw that out there.
Nice. And not too long ago, he got himself a nice silver half, too.
Yes, he did. Yep. No, he's on fire right now, and he's also sporting the AT Pro and the Equinox both.
Yes, he is.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have to congratulate him myself. I don't know the man, but that's good production out of your detector. So,
hey, any day you can find a mass copper is a good day.
That's what I was telling him, too. I said, you can find large cents, but mass coppers don't pop up very often.
Yeah, I found the Vermont copper up here a couple years ago.
We actually had a mass copper show up here in Northwest Ohio last spring.
Wow.
Great condition.
Wow.
And yeah, when it come out of the ground and it was shown to me, I'm like, do you realize what you have here? Do you realize how significant this is? For it to have made the trip and made it this far, the stories it could tell, wow.
Especially 2 years in production.
Yeah. Is that what it is, 2 years? They only made it for 2 years?
2 years, 1787 and 1788.
Yeah, because the Vermont copper I found was a 1788. I don't know if they had the same years of production or not. But
no, wait, you found one, Fred?
A couple years ago.
Vermont, a couple years ago.
Yeah, B.O.N.E, let's see. That was the 24th, B.O.N.E 24. We were hunting up at the congressman's property. I can't think of his name, but it's up by Petersboro up there. And,
up in Dublin, New Hampshire.
Yeah. Yep. I found an 1805 large scent, and I found the Vermont copper that year.
Nice.
Those are my two good finds.
Very good.
That's kind of stuff. That's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of stuff I want to find. So I'm not.
Well,
I'm not
all
too
do.
Demanding, right? Yeah, I know. We all do. But I'm right up here in that neck of the woods. So that's what I'm pushing for. But hey, like I said, I don't find them. I'm just as happy. You know, this is like heaven to me, to be just away and just metal detecting every day. I mean, it's all I can ask for. I mean, work. I have work going on at home, you know, but that's been bugging me a little bit. My phone's been going off. I was FaceTiming with my guy from the field today. You know, it's like I still hadn't strong enough cell signal to do that. I couldn't believe it. So,
right.
But you know, those are small interruptions. So, but I'm glad I was able to call in and give you an update on the event up here. I think it's working very well. The weather has been fantastic. You know yourself, Brandon, that it's been raining at night and beautiful during the day, and that kind of pattern suits any metal detectorist, I'm sure. So,
of course.
Yeah, keeps that moisture in the ground.
Yeah.
Well, you're also in the best part of the United States for metal detecting. I don't care if you dig Civil War, you dig Indian War, you're in New England, buddy. You get to dig the best of the best.
I mean, we get colonial down in Jersey, but I think you probably have more of it up here, you know, more widespread because there was more of that, you know, colonial settlement. But, you know, I find my share of stuff down there, but probably not as much as you guys up here. So I enjoy coming up here a lot. And I recommend it to anybody that can ever swing it to come up to this event. You won't regret it. It's well run, and like Swansea says, they find good fields. And I know Barb likes to do DIV, and she's a little spread out to probably do both. But if she could ever come up here, maybe she can tie it into visiting her mother or something. Her mother's in Cape Cod, so my sister wants me to come over and see her, and she's in Salem, Mass, which is, I don't know, how far is that, Swansea? It's like probably...
that's about 2.5 hours.
All right, well, I might do it. You know, I never get to see my sister, so I might cruise over there before I go home. But let's combine a little bit of family visit with this event. But all in all, you know, I think it's a lot of fun. I've enjoyed it. This is my 4th year coming, and I'll probably come again, you know. But that's my assessment of the whole thing. So
there you go.
I think, you know, so it was great talking to you. And I know you didn't want to run your show too long tonight, so I don't want to keep you going. But we had fun. It was fun having the Ringy and King George put their 2 cents in. Those guys, talk about busy, huh? I asked them today. I said, "How do you get over the jet lag?" It's like, "Oh, you don't."
No, you just
work
keep going
through it, you know.
Yep.
Yeah.
And definitely
they don't have the option.
Yeah. And definitely good to hear from you and get the update, and always a pleasure to hear from Swans too. Yeah,
it was great. It's good trio of people on here. And I always enjoy talking to both of you. So I'm going to sign off and go in and have a beer, and maybe the Civil War guy's done talking. I don't know. Not that I don't want to hear it, but you know, I don't think I want to sit there for an hour hearing about it. He had everything. He had all the gear, the tent, everything, a rifle. You know, he's fully equipped.
Well, much like we are with metal detecting, those reenactors can be very serious about what they do.
Yeah, I hear when they have those reenactments, those guys kind of transport themselves mentally. You can't even talk to them. Like, you can't go up and start, you know,
they pay
talking about Trump or something. They're like in the era.
Yeah, they pay very, very close attention to even the smallest of details, especially for some of the hardcore ones, to make sure that they are as period accurate as possible.
Yeah, well, I can understand that. They're totally enthusiastic about that whole era and trying to keep the history of it alive and everything. So I'm not trying to put it down. I was just upset I couldn't grab those guys and bring them on the phone faster. But
no big deal.
It's all right.
Yeah, no big deal.
Yeah, we got
at
them
all.
on there. So, but it's great talking to you. And Brandon, I'll give you a ring and we'll get together one way or another.
Oh, for sure, Fred.
And
I want to comment one little bit on what you just said too. You talked about the Civil War reenactors, but what I always tried to mention to people, through metal detecting and even on the radio shows, you live in New England, history goes back beyond the Civil War. We've got War of 1812, we've got Revolutionary War, we've got the original colonial colonists up here, and people forget that too. It seems to be in the hobby in general. The Civil War is what everybody talks about. Wow. I enjoy finding things prior to that, and people forget that, prior to the 1850s, there was still history in the United States.
Absolutely there was. I just love finding history no matter its shape or form. I don't stick to one thing. I mean, whether it's 6 months old or 6,000 years old, it's still part of the past.
Exactly, Josh. Yeah. Find an arrowhead on the ground. I'll tell you what, that's more exciting to me than finding a coin from the early 1800s. I'll tell you that.
All right.
Yeah, well, I wish I could do it. I've never found an arrowhead or any kind of Indian point. I've talked to several people that are really good at it, and I want to go out with them and get a few tips. But I figure with looking down at the ground all the time, I should see it. But I think it's an acquired skill to see those things. I've never found one. And I live in it. Where I lived in Paramus, New Jersey, there was an Indian village there, and there was tons of arrowheads around there, I've been told. I never found one. So maybe it's just having the blinders on or something.
Well,
but
one of these days, you never know.
Yeah, I know I'll find one day, but I just feel like I have this blind spot or something where I can't see them. Yeah, I know it's...
I'll tell you, I've heard of people that go to the New England area to detect, and they'll get a signal and cut a plug, and there's their target, and there's an arrowhead next to it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, very true, Josh. Someday. You find a piece of quartz or something like that, or obsidian, and there it is. There's the tip of an arrowhead or a scraper or something like that, especially in farm fields, where they're plowed.
Absolutely.
After a rain, you just put your head on the ground, and you look down, and you see something white and shiny. Chances are it's chipped.
Right.
Wow. Yeah, I've heard that after a rain is the best time because the dirt gets washed off of the points. And
exactly.
We have somebody in my club. He does a column for American Digger. It's Pete Schichtel, his name is, and he's a super expert on American Indian points and the history of all their different things. And he's amazing to talk to, and he's got some collection. He's got like a museum in his house.
Yes, he's very informed on a number of topics.
Oh, yeah, that guy's brilliant. I mean, he's got everything from 300-pound cannonballs to all these, American Indian artifacts, and tools and esoteric stuff. He talk about being wrapped up in history. He's like the history, he's like the natural history guy of the world, But it's great to have somebody like that as that you can talk to and learn things from. And
absolutely,
he brings things into the finds of the month sometimes. This is an Indian scraper, and everybody's like, looks like a rock, and then they do like voting for the find of the month, and his thing doesn't get collected. He gets so upset. He's like, I think the later it gets, the more ignorant people get, because it's to show, like everybody like raises their hands, and he gets beat out by, some other, something from the 1700s or something,
Right, yeah.
Like, this thing's 15,000 years old, People don't appreciate it,
Yep, personal preferences for certain spots of history, and sometimes that's the way it goes.
Yeah, you can't always predict how people are going to react to things, but most of the time they look that stuff, they're like, it looks just like a rock, and they can't, like, get themselves into the period so much, Because some of the stuff does look just like a rock to me, but he's like, no, look at this, it's a scraper, but he's got the eye for it. But
absolutely,
you can learn to appreciate so many different things. But this hobby, I have to say, does instill a deep appreciation of history in you.
Oh, absolutely it does. If it doesn't, you got into it for the wrong reason.
Oh yeah, I mean that's what intrigued me about it, because I started to find things from the Rev War era, like Swan's talking about, and I'm just like, wow, the history. I found a buckle that's been positively identified by Pete as being, Revolutionary War sash buckle for the belt that went across their chest,
Nice.
And I hold that in my hand, and I just think, God, the last guy that had this was a Rev War soldier, and it's 250 years or whatever it is, and it's just amazing. So
right.
That's what keeps us all going, I think. So I found the end of the day today, I saw a plug that somebody else dug, and I was getting a signal over it, and I took it out, and it's a pewter button with a square shank. Those things are pretty old, aren't they? Yeah, I don't know. They predate the other ones that have the little metal loop on the back, I would think. I don't know. I'm not sure about that, but I was glad to find that, at the end of the day. But it's funny,
right.
Sometimes people, they get a signal and they can't get it right away, and they walk on, and it's still there. That's why I always check other people's plugs.
Oh yeah, you got to.
Yeah, because this one had particularly a lot of roots. It was in the woods, so I think he gave up with the roots. But I just hammered through that stuff. So
there you go.
But all right, Josh.
Was that our boring roots?
What's that?
I said, was that our boring roots again, Fred?
Oh, I didn't say it was boring. Boy, you really got insulted by that comment, didn't you? I said the woods
just a little bit, Fred. Just a little bit.
I said they were oh, well, I need a little more excitement. I gotta walk and get a signal at least once an hour. If I'm walking through the woods for an hour and a half and I don't get anything, I'm like, wow, what happened to this woods? Like, where is anything? And then I find a shotgun shell. I'm like,
but that's not bland woods. You're in the wrong spot.
Yeah, well, I think that's what I'm trying to say in another way.
Or Swansea's beat you to it there.
Yeah, I have a feeling that spot we're at today might have been hit by some locals. Maybe Swansea was in there, cleaning it out. But it was still fun to be there. A few things I did find were rewarding, and seeing other people's finds were very rewarding, and seeing KG and Ringy, bouncing around the field and coming back with all the stuff they found. And Aquachigger is a real nice guy. He's like a lot of information in that guy's head, about everything, because he does all that river hunting and all that stuff, and
right.
He's a fun guy to talk to. So, and all the other people. I mean, I talked to a lot of different people. Some people I've seen on Facebook, and got to meet him in person. That was very interesting. So, looking forward to the rest of the week. So, I'll let you know if I find something super. I'll put it on Facebook or something. You'll see what it is. But
awesome. I look forward to it.
Yeah, it was great. It's great talking to both of you guys, and enjoyed it. And I hope the review was adequate of the whole event here. But you know what it is, pretty much. But I'll sign off for now. And Swans, I'll talk to you this week.
Oh, for sure, buddy.
And Josh,
good luck with the rest of the week.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be great. The weather's supposed to be good again tomorrow, so we'll be enthusiastically tromping over something that you've been over before too. So I'll have it in my head all day.
Make sure you don't find something I missed, and if you do, I want to see pictures.
I better. I'm good. I hope I do find something really good.
That's determination.
No, that's
right, buddy.
We got to be competitive. Yeah.
Right.
So,
hey, friendly competition is the way we work.
Yeah, that's it. No backstabbing here. I got to keep looking over my shoulder now, but no, it's all good. So if I'm out there all day and I come away with a few things, I'll be happy. So
right.
But I'll be talking with you guys later. And Josh, you have a good night, and I'll sign off now. I'll let you guys go.
All right.
All right.
Thanks for the call, Fred. Always a pleasure.
Good talking to you. Yeah, it was a pleasure talking to you. So I'll touch base with you later. Okay?
All right.
See you now. All right, bye.
Wow. Well, hopefully he meets up with you this week then, Swans.
Oh, I'm sure. Fred and I usually meet up when he comes up for B.O.N.E. A couple of years ago, it was Butch came up that year, and we hung out at the Best Western and actually had a beer together with everybody. So
oh yeah,
that was
right.
pretty cool.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yep. So again, George and I may have our own differences, but he puts on the most fantastic hunts. I mean, the places that this guy gets permission for are good old farm fields. It's 2 to 3 days every year, amazing spots. I can't fault the guy. I mean, he does amazing work at getting these permissions. I've had good luck. I've found reals in these spots. I've found silver $50, silver quarters. Not myself, but there has been Revolutionary War buttons found, 1812 buttons. Always a good time. I could never tell somebody not to go to a bone dig.
Right, yeah. Sometimes you just got to give credit where it's due.
Oh, yeah, for sure. The guy knows what he's doing.
Right. Well,
30 years, it's obviously working.
Yeah, he's been doing it a while. You think apparently along the way he must have figured something out.
Exactly.
For it to last as long as it has.
Yep, for sure. And if you want to get involved in the seated hunts, that's the last day of the hunt. It's always on the Sunday. But the treasure show that's at the Keene Rec Center on Saturday, always amazing. I mean, like Connecticut Todd Yerkes, he's always got a great display. Dave Wise, I heard, is going to be there this year. They do classes on the Excalibur. They do classes on the CTX. All of that is worth the event, especially if you're from out of town.
Yeah, I would have to agree. It's worth it just for the information from the seminars.
Oh, for sure. It's never disappointing to do a Chinese auction. You put your tickets into different things where you could win gold mining equipment, you can win metal detectors, you can bring in coins or whatever people have found. It could be normal yard sale kind of items, too. I remember the last time I went, there was homemade items like spice racks and stuff like that, too. You just throw your ticket in there. There's a lot to be had at that auction.
Nice. Very cool. Can't beat that at all.
No, not one bit.
Awesome. Well, and speaking of finds and fields and good times, we've actually got a show in the can that we're probably going to air this weekend with Gary Cook, with some, I think there's a couple of exclusive announcements in there, as well as some information on the spring Detectival hoard that was found. So that should be a good time for people, too. But make sure to bring your beverages, though, because it's a long run of a show. Gary can definitely talk. But that's all right. It was definitely good conversation with him, just like tonight. Great conversation with you and Fred and Ringy and KG, and I guess it just goes to show you still never know what's going to happen around here. But that's all right. That's the way it goes. Nothing wrong with that at all. Anyway, though, I think it is time that we should be rolling on out of here. So, if you all enjoyed the show, make sure and throw us a like as you leave. Smash that like button. You can follow us on Spreaker, Facebook, the podcast distribution services that are out there. I don't even know how many of them they are. I'm all the time showing up in places I didn't even know was carrying the program. Other than that, check out the PulseDive giveaway if you haven't gotten yourself entered already. If you would like to, make sure and check that out. Link is in the description, as well as the links to our friends at Shooters and Prospectors, Extreme Scoops, DETECTEES.com, and XP Team USA Facebook group, podcast, website, and blog articles. Until the next one, I think we're going to roll for now. We'll probably run the show with Gary Cook. I don't know. Maybe as soon as this Sunday. Either way, you haven't heard this one on the show before, even though it'll look like an archive. It's pre-recorded. It's already set and ready to go. We just have to throw the switch on it. So you'll definitely want to make sure and check that out. Some good information in that episode. Other than that, I think we've covered everything. So, say hi to our friends over on Dirt Pirates, Ohio Relic Hunters, Beyond Sight and Sound Facebook group, and all the other wonderful Facebook groups out there like Awesome Relics New England, Detecting the Heartland, and the list could just roll on and on and on. Until the next one, folks, we're going to roll. Have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you on the pages.